and then we'll get into it. So another beautiful day here in Georgia. If you're not here and you're on the East Coast, our prayers are with you and your families after the hurricane. If for some reason life is tough for you right now, if you need anything, let us know, please. We'd love to help you. So we are going to be talking about one of the most common subjects that people ask me about and have asked me about for the last almost 30 years, and that is when to use ice and when to use heat. And so we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to answer all your questions for you so that next time you wind up doing something to yourself and you're sore or you're inflamed, you're going to know what to do to speed up the healing process for you. Okay? So, Stephanie, hey, nice to have you here. Well, I'll try to come up with something new for you, okay? That I didn't talk about last time. And so let's say you're out on a hike and you twist your knee or you roll your ankle playing tennis, or you're out with your kids, you're doing something fun, you're wrestling, and you kind of like jack your back up or your neck. What should you do? Well, my first line of defense for everybody, hi Marisa, always great to have you here. First line of defense is I want you, if it was in the last 72 hours that this happened, okay, that's kind of the rule of thumb that you need to remember. If it's 72 hours or earlier of you doing something like that, you want to go and get some ice. And we want you to ice for 30 minutes. So you're going to go get your ice pack out of the freezer. You're going to put it on whatever got messed up for you. Let's say it's just my wrist right now or any other part, and you want to put it on. And what the ideal scenario is, unless you have a very expensive ice pack, you want to use 2 of these. Okay, so go get one out of the freezer. You're going to put it on for 15 minutes, and then I want you to take it off, go to the freezer, get the next ice pack, and put that on for another 15 minutes. Why do you need to do that? Well, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked. So the reason is because most ice packs can only keep their peak cold for 15 minutes. And what's peak cold? Peak cold is when the ice is actually reducing inflammation in our body. All right, so it's really important. Just because it feels cool or cold to us does not mean that it's reducing inflammation. So you're kind of wasting your time besides it just feeling good on your body. So we want to reduce inflammation. So peak cold is the key. Ice keeps its peak cold the whole time, which is pretty cool. It's just kind of cumbersome to stick in a bag and try to get it to form to your body. So a good ice pack just works a lot better. And the really good ice packs will keep their peak cold for 30 minutes, but most of them don't. They do it for about 15. So if you've gotten it at CVS or Walgreens or you know, probably off of Amazon or Walmart, something like that, get 2 of them, and then you're always good to go. You don't have to worry about it. So 15 minutes on, and then switch it out. And you're going to want to do that for the next 3 days. How often should you ice per day? I would highly recommend that you do a minimum, I know you're going to think that I'm sounding crazy on this, but a minimum of 8 times per day. If you've been with me long enough, or if you're watching this, you probably watched the video where I showed when I really messed my back up very bad. I injured myself very bad in the skateboard park. I was icing 10 and 12 times a day for 30 minutes each day. And I'm telling you, it works miracles. So I know it sounds like a lot, but trust me on it. When you do, you're going to want to write me back and say thank you. You're going to notice a huge difference. So that's what you want to do with that. Let's see, what else do we want to cover? After that, we can start moving into some other things as well. But those first 72 hours, ice is going to be your friend, not this guy right here, okay? And not that I don't like heat, I do, but heat is, when you're going to use heat, you're going to want to use this heating pad when it is a chronic condition for you. So let's say your low back is always sore and it just seems to be a little bit more sore today. You know, some weather's coming in and your knee that always kind of bothers you is starting to bother you a little bit more. That's when you want to go and usually start to use heat. It has an analgesic effect to it, which means that it has a pain relieving effect to it. And so it feels better. So that's why most people, when they hurt themselves or their back's really sore, their neck, they go grab one of these first because it feels good when it's on your body. The problem is, though, is after you take it off the next day, you're usually always more sore and always more stiff. And why is that? Because heat brings blood into that area of the body, because the body's trying to cool it off. So the homeostatic mechanism in our body, the thermostat in our body says, wait a minute, I'm getting too warm, let's cool it off. Let's bring blood into the area to do that. And when you're done heating, now you have more blood in that area than you had before, so you're actually more swollen. And that's what people would always come into my office and go, Doc, I heated yesterday and it felt good, but God, today it's really hurting. Well, yeah, that's why. It's because you have more blood in that area and you're actually more swollen than what you were to begin with. So that's why we want to use heat in those first 70, or ice in those first 72 hours. If it's just a chronic thing that you have, then you're going to go with this guy with the heating pad, and usually is going to feel better. So those are my kind of rules of thumb. So last time we did our live, we had some great questions, and oh, look at that. And I just had one. So let's see, Marisa is asking, what if you hurt your ankle? Would you recommend soaking your foot in hot water at any point, or should you stick to ice? Well, Marisa, I'm going to ask you a question back. Did this happen in the last 72 hours? Because I want you to be able to think your way through this, and then you don't have to rely on me all the time. So while Maurice is thinking about that, maybe Stephanie, you want to go for it, Stephanie? See what you learned today so far. So if you hurt your ankle, would you recommend soaking your foot in hot water at any point, or should you stick to ice? I'm going to assume that if you just hurt your ankle, is probably within the last 72 hours. So yes, so I have a friend who just hurt their ankle earlier this week. So I'm going to say we're probably still in the 72-hour window with that. So based off of what you learned today, what do you think you should do, ice or heat? Anyone? Bueller? Okay, well, I'm going to wait. Ice for the win. Yeah, absolutely, Marisa. Great job. All right, it's worth doing these lives. My friends are learning. So yeah, that first 72 hours. When in doubt, you can always put heat on it, but I'll tell you what, when in doubt, I always go for ice. And you're always going to be glad you did that. I promise you that. I promise. And don't be afraid to ice more than you think you should. So 8 to 10 times per day works miracles for people. Okay. Let's see, what else? Anybody have any questions about heat at all? If you don't, that's okay. What else do you want to do? And and don't forget, while you're doing this stuff, you want to stay really hydrated. And because when we do something like this, the body's going through this process of bringing fluids in, creating a splint, but you want to be able to get that stuff out of your body. And if you're dehydrated, it's really hard to do that, getting rid of those inflammatory processes happening. So you're going to want to drink a lot of water. Ideal amount of water to drink, if you've been with me for any time, and we've talked about this, is half of your body weight in ounces per day. All right, so I'll say it again. Half of your body weight in ounces per day. So if you weigh 100 pounds, half of that would be 50. You should be drinking 50 ounces of water per day. And that's what you should do on a regular basis anyway. So that's my goal every single day. So I should be drinking just about 3 liters of water. So what do? I fill a 1.5 liter bottle up. I fill another liter bottle up. I do it at nighttime. So when I get up in the morning, it's the first thing I put in my body before I put anything else in my body. And there's a lot of benefits, and we can talk about that at another time as well. So, but when you have something like an inflammatory process like this happening, if you hurt yourself, your friend rolls their ankle, you're going to want to make sure they're hydrating really well. What about taking medication for pain? What are your thoughts on that? I always go for ice first, especially for your friend. I would stay on that. If they can manage the discomfort and pain with that alone, then I would stick just with that. Unfortunately, when we take medications, there are side effects, there are negative consequences to our body. So I try to keep those to a minimum for when your body really needs it, especially your non-steroidal anti-inflammatories and Tylenol. So, I usually try to reserve those for when you're going to go to sleep so that you can at least get some sleep, because we want you to sleep, so it helps your healing process a lot, because you do more healing at night than you do during the day. So that's when I would reserve those. So, but when in doubt, try to manage it just with ice. You'd be surprised if you ice at the recommendations I give you, and you do it like I said. We're using 2 ice packs. You're going to notice really big differences, and then probably what you've experienced before. So I hope that answers your questions. If anybody else has questions for me, I would love to answer them. If you don't, you can always send me a DM. Hey, and don't forget. I always look for good content and topics to bring you. So if you have questions, send me a message. I look at those every day, so I can answer you back, and we'll pick something that's really cool that I think a lot of people would love to learn about and would want to share with others. So I hope that you'll want to share this today. It's a lot of information that people always get confused on, and I hope that I've created some clarity for you and for all of our viewers as well. If you haven't gone and taken a look at our website, go take a look at that, please, drshawnmcwilliams.com. There's links on there to Disc University, so if you know people in your life that are really suffering with neck and back pain, spinal decompression, and if you've been with us at all, is one of the most powerful tools for managing that and actually getting your spine to be healthier. So you can go learn all about that as well there. I want you to know, the body is a self-healing, self-regulating organism. There's so many processes that happen inside of our body that we never have to think about. Digesting food, pumping blood, making babies, breathing, making new bone, rolling your ankle and fixing it. We help the body, but at the end of the day, it's the body healing itself. And that goes for back pain as well, and neck pain. Most of those can be managed if you just have the right guidance and know the right things to do and really heal well, much better usually than surgeries. If you've been with me, you've seen a lot of the research that I've shared about that. So I hope that you'll share this with friends so they can feel informed and make the right decision for themselves next time when they get a boo-boo. So I love and appreciate you. I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. So grateful for having you here. And let's see. Oh, one more question for my friend. Should they elevate their ankle while they ice? That is an excellent idea. Yes, I would definitely recommend that. Stephanie, you are so welcome. I appreciate you too. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope your weather's nice up in PA. And I will see everybody next week. Same place, same channel. All right. I appreciate y'all.